is Will Mason. I'm a superintendent with the Hamilton Police. So as you're aware, last night the Hamilton Police Service received some information that what's known as a mega meet was planned for the Ancaster parking lot where we are today. This group has been creating traffic chaos throughout the GTA with anywhere from 50 to 300 street racing style cars attending previously. Participants have been known in the past to take over city streets to engage in drifting or full-on street racing. In the past, participants have hampered police response by using vehicles to block intersections as well as highway ramps. There have been incidents of groups in the past swarming responding officers on foot and blocking in cruisers with vehicles. Recently, similar groups engaged in street racing, resulting in collisions in other jurisdictions. In response to this, the Erase team has been formed, consisting of members of the OPP, Peel, and York Regional Police. Several Hamilton police officers attended once we found out about this event last night, shortly before 6 o'clock, only to find a large group of vehicles already setting up in the parking lot here. Over the next hour or so of the evening, the group swelled to completely fill the theater lot, the chapters lot, and spilled into smaller surrounding lots. There were several hundred vehicles present. In order to prevent a repeat of previous incidents, the Erase team attended Hamilton to provide us with some assistance in dealing with this event. Once sufficient officers were on scene, they were able to move the participants out of the lots in a safe and orderly manner. The parking lots were cleared of all incidents without incident. There were no incidents of street racing or roadway takeovers, and we thank the Joint Forces Erase team for their invaluable assistance last evening. At the time of the event last night, the goal of the officers was dispersing the crowd as quickly and as safely as possible to mitigate both the risk of street racing and the further spread of COVID-19. Given the size of the crowd and the overall risk to public safety, the need to disperse the crowd outweighed the ability to find specific individuals at that time. However, this has been forwarded to an investigative team who will be following up, and if we are able to identify the individuals responsible for organizing the event, we will be prosecuting them to the full extent of our ability under the law. If anybody has information to share on the individuals or is able to identify the individuals involved in this event, we encourage them to contact us at 905-546-3886, or if they wish to remain anonymous, please contact Crime Stoppers at 1-800-522-8477.
So is Hamilton leading the investigation?
At this time, this particular event occurred in Hamilton, so for this particular event, yes, Hamilton will be leading the investigation.
What was the concern with issuing fines about social gathering or other public health guidelines last night while you were doing the other thing?
As I said, as we've got that volume of people, the goal at that time was to disperse the crowd as quickly as possible. That helps us mitigate both the risk of COVID-19 as well as the risk of the street racing. So the goal was to disperse the crowd as quickly as possible. That said, we absolutely think the actions last night, in light of the concern with COVID-19, are abhorrent. The participants should be ashamed of themselves, and if we can identify them and we are able to lay charges down the road, we will certainly be doing it.
So no charges have been laid?
At this point, no.
Police arrived at 6 o'clock and noticed everybody setting up. Why was it till 9:30 that the Erase team arrived or was called in?
So that team has to come from well outside of Hamilton and has to mobilize to get here. Those things don't happen in an instant. As soon as we found out about this, we started putting together a plan. But as I said, at the time that our officers arrived here, we had only very few officers dealing with a very, very large crowd of individuals.
How many officers were here, do you know?
At the start, we had 3 Hamilton police officers, and we were quickly able to pull from some of our other areas once we found out the size of the crowd to swell that to 10 to 12 Hamilton officers.
Do you have an estimate for the number of people that were actually here?
I know there were several hundred vehicles. I've heard varying reports, but I would say it's safe to say several hundred.
Were police taking down license plate numbers to follow up with people?
So that's part of our overall investigation. We also are aware that there's a lot of social media video out there, as well as video from the traditional media, and we'll be following up on all those items.
So So was the majority of people, were they from this area or from
There was a
outside?
lot of people from outside of the city of Hamilton, is our understanding.
What charges could a participant, someone that didn't organize it, that just came here to hang out in the parking lot, what charges could they potentially face?
Well, there's charges obviously under the provincial bylaw, under the municipal bylaws, as well as there potentially is charges under the Highway Traffic Act for events that occur out on the street. We didn't have any of those events to our knowledge.